Guys, how's it going? So right now I'll be talking about the Garmin Fenix 8. This one's brand new for 2024 and I'm really excited to get it in. I bought this with my own money. This isn't a review sample or anything like that. So let's just get right into it. So a lot of the other review samples are that spark orange color and I'm really happy I went with the black understated version. So one thing immediately I'm noticing is a lot of reviewers have been saying that it's a similar reused design as before, but no, I've been using the Garmin Fenix series since the 3, and to me this looks like a completely different design. So first of all, the metal, in this case is titanium, has more of a lustery shine to it too. I really like it. It looks incredibly premium, and the buttons are completely different. They're redesigned, and the way they kind of pop out kind of reminds me of the Mark series. And they feel very different too. They're using a leak-proof design. I'll get into that a little bit later on. But yeah, I think the actual face of the watch is a lot better. And there's also this new cover guard. I believe that's what they're calling it. I don't remember exactly. And one issue I personally have, because I went for the all-black version, and the main reason why I did that is that's the only way to get sapphire and titanium, and those are two important materials, especially when it comes to scratch resistance. I've had Garmin watches without sapphire and they got scratched up to hell. And titanium is not only a stronger material, but it's a much lighter material. And when you're wearing this to sleep, you want this to be as comfortable as possible. I wish I was able to get a splash of color like some of the other designs out there, but it looks like they're just simple screws, so I can just probably switch them out later on if I wanted to. And this brings me to another con. I don't like that the side portion is plastic. They've increased the price and this entire watch looks premium, but I just don't like how there's plastic on the side here. And from a design perspective, they're two different materials. They don't even blend together well. So for example, like look at the Polar Grit X2 here. This has been one of my favorite watches this year. It's not perfect. I mean, if you were going to start comparing these two watches, unfortunately the Polar would lose big time. But anyway, the main reason why I'm bringing it up is this has a titanium build all the way throughout, and this is under $800 and this is $1,100, and you're getting plastic on the side of the Garmin while it's all metal on the Polar. But I guess on the back they make up for it by having plastic while you get titanium on the Fenix. But at the end of the day, I just wish the side portion was made out of metal the way the Mark is. I mean, again, this Fenix is starting to really go up in price now, so I don't think it's unreasonable to expect better build materials, even though we are overall getting build materials. Anyway, bit of a tangent on that. So then we flip it over to the back. Like I mentioned, this is titanium as well. Really good quality. And this is their new sensor array. I had the Venue 3 and the entire suite of tracking was amazing on it, from just doing resting heart rate, VO2 max, etc. And especially when I'm running, the Garmin system does the best by far when it comes to wrist-based heart rate. So you probably already know that, so we can just move on. And another thing that's new, at least to me, is these bands feel a little bit softer, maybe a little bit thinner too, and you might be thinking that's like a reduction in quality. I'm not looking at it that way. This band is a lot more comfortable than Garmin watches have been in the past. They're usually thicker and become irritating after a while, especially since I'm not taking breaks with wearing this watch because it tracks so much different data for me throughout the entire day, including my sleep. So I will take whatever decisions Garmin makes to increase comfort. So anyway, next I want to talk about this new software, and it is completely redesigned for this year. It almost seems like it was built from the ground up. The entire animation system looks really nice now, really easy to follow. It's overall the same design, the same concept. Big difference is, I'm sure you guys have seen a lot of videos by now. Pressing the down button brings up all of your widgets. You can customize this, but also pressing up brings up your notifications, and this is new for this year too. It's also touch enabled too, and the entire interface is much nicer. They've completely redone the entire notification system now, and it's really pleasing to look at too, with all the cool animations and stuff, and there's some cool graphics too where it's blurred out at the back, similar to like what you'll see on an iPhone, etc. The animations are completely redesigned. There's some really cool animations that just pop up throughout the entire user experience. So I've been really enjoying that too. One issue I've had with previous Garmin watches was the performance. Not previous Garmin watches. The Epix 7 in particular, I guess because that was the first time that they introduced an OLED screen and the resolution was much higher, especially on the 51 millimeter version of the Epix Pro. The entire performance was just much slower, especially when you were doing workouts. It was almost unusable when I was working out with the amount of lag there was. And I don't know if they ever got it fixed. Anyway, so I'm going to recreate a test that I did earlier today. I'm just going to start a simple walk. So that's going, and then I'm going to go home. So you can press and hold the bottom right button. This kind of brings up like a multitasking view. Oh, I have the touchscreen lock. And you can go home by just touching the top of that. And overall, the entire interface, while a run is going on in the background, isn't bad. You are starting to see a little bit of a slowdown, but not nearly what you were seeing before. So that's pretty cool. But what it really bogged down was when I played music. So I'm going to have Spotify running on the background. Now I'm just going to have it run through the speaker. And I guess this could be a speaker test too. Hopefully I don't get demonetized. All right, let me play something that I don't think will be copyrighted. So I have music playing in the background. So again, I'll press and hold that bottom right button. Press the top button to go home. The screen is locked because I'm in a workout. So there you go. And then you could kind of see the system does still slow down a little bit, but it's still much better than it was before. At this point, the entire I discarded the lap, which is also new, and that this feature did come to the Garmin Fenix 7 and the Epix series as well too, but I didn't even do that purposely. But you see, as you can see, I can scroll through all of my different stats for my workout, and it is not being bogged down as much as it was before. So I think there is a new processor in here that's also allowing for some of these better, smoother animations, but more importantly, it's keeping the performance nice and snappy. So really happy about that. And that's something I have not seen other reviewers tackle. One of the first things I'm going to do later on though is take off that touch lock. And next, I don't know if you probably saw me navigating through this system, but I am not a fan of these new buttons, these new leak-proof buttons. They feel premium. There's like a nice springiness to them too. I have no problem with that, but the actual presses, it seems like it's a little bit more difficult to register. So it has a lot of travel, and it has to depress all the way down before it actually registers. I've been having a bit of a hard time using it too. I remember before I was just able to quickly tap on the button and be able to navigate throughout. Now I have to press it all the way down. It slows me down a little bit, and especially when it's on my wrist, my finger almost has to stab down on the button to get it to register. Maybe I'll get used to them. I think they are a bit too stiff though. I wish they weren't this stiff. So I don't know. I think this is a bit of a downgrade, but I know in terms of the hardware, it does make it a little bit better. And one issue with this though, and I know I'm not the target audience for this watch, it's incredibly expensive at, in this case, $1,200. And I don't make use of half of the features here. I'll go for a run occasionally. I'll go for a bike ride. But this watch was not intended for me. But having said that though, I'm starting to see people wearing these watches all around the place, and I don't think they're all buying it with intentions of using it to its fullest extent. So I think this is starting to become a lifestyle watch where it's just starting to gravitate towards people who just want a premium smartwatch, who don't want to deal with an Apple Watch, or who don't want to deal with Android Wear, because you're only getting 1 day of battery life once you enable all of the health tracking features on all of those watches. So I could see that, and when I do a full review, I'll be doing it from that perspective. So if you want to see that, get subscribed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks. Bye.